Good morning, everyone. So last week, looks like we were all dealing with an awful lot of snow. This week, we're dealing with a deep freeze. So hopefully all of you are well and safe, and most importantly, warm. We celebrate today the fifth Sunday in Ordinary Time. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Glory to you, Lord. On leaving the synagogue, Jesus entered the house of Simon and Andrew and with James and John. Simon's mother-in-law lay sick with a fever. They immediately told him about her. He approached, grasped her hand, and helped her up. Then the fever left her, and she waited on them. When it was evening, after sunset, they brought to him all who were ill or possessed by demons. The whole town was gathered at the door. He cured many who were sick with various diseases, and he drove out many demons, not permitting them to speak because they knew him. Rising very early before dawn, he left and went off to a deserted place where he prayed. Simon and those who were with him pursued him, and on finding him said, "Everyone is looking for you." He told them, "Let us go on to the nearby villages, that I may preach there also. For this purpose have I come." So he went into their synagogues, preaching and driving out demons throughout the whole of Galilee. The Gospel of the Lord. So let me tell you a little story. One day, a very wealthy father took his son on a trip to the country for the sole purpose of showing his son what it was like to be poor. They spent a few days and nights on a farm of what would be considered a very poor family. And after their return from the trip, father asked his son how he liked it. "It was great, Dad," the son replied. "Did you see how poor people can be?" his father asked. "Oh, yeah," said the son. "So what did you learn from the trip?" asked the father. The son answered, "I saw we have one dog. They had four. We have a pool that reaches to the middle of our garden. They have a creek that has no end. We have imported lanterns in our garden. They have the stars at night. Our patio reaches to the front yard. They have the whole horizon. We have a small piece of land to live on. They have fields that go on forever. We have servants who serve us, but they serve others. We buy our food, but they grow theirs. We have walls around our property to protect us. They have friends to protect them." The boy's father was speechless, and then his son added, "It showed me just how poor we really are." From time to time, whether we realize it or not, we all need to step away. We all need a change of scenery, a fresh perspective. Think about it. Think about yourself right now. Are you tired? Not the sleepless night or household work tired, but bone tired, exhausted, but not from any physical labor or work. You lack the energy, the drive, the motivation to do anything. That kind of tired. Weighed down by the events of the past week or year, filled with concern for your family, yourself, your world. Does that sound familiar? In today's gospel, there is a lot going on. Jesus had just preached in the synagogue in Capernaum, and then he goes to Peter's house and cures his mother-in-law of a fever. And once people hear about it, it seems the entire town comes knocking on the door, bringing with them all the sick and the possessed. And he cured them all. Later the next day, Jesus goes off on this extended tour with his disciples of all the towns in Galilee, preaching, curing, casting out demons. What's worth noting is where it is that the people encounter Jesus, where they hear his words and feel his healing touch. They feel it in their houses of worship, the houses of prayer. They feel it and see it in their homes, in their towns. Jesus meets them in the midst of their daily lives. But what strikes me the most aren't the two events, but what happens in between. In spite of all that Jesus did in one day, and all that he planned to do the next, Jesus gets up early in the morning and goes off to a quiet place to pray. Think about it. This is the Messiah, Son of God, Savior of the world, the divine Lord. And even he needs some quiet time to prepare, to recharge, to talk with his Father. He has to have been tired from the day before, and yet he gets up before dawn to pray. Now, I'm not suggesting that we all should be getting up at 4 a.m. for prayer, but shouldn't we all find the time throughout the day to just step aside from the crazy, mixed-up world we live in, catch our breath, and offer a simple prayer of praise and thanksgiving to the Father? It can give us a fresh perspective, a change of scenery, if you will, just like the Father and the Son in the story. If nothing else, it helps to clear our minds, recenter our lives and our worries around the love of God. It can remind us that we are not alone. So, Great Spirit, remind us today that we are not physical beings having some spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Help us to find the time today to give rest to our physical selves and a spark of energy and inspiration to our spirits. Be well, be safe. God bless.